All right. Hello, TED Talk. All right. I cannot read. I cannot read. This is the story that I had of myself at the age of 6 years old because of a temporary foster care stay. All of this changed with the power of one no. One no that changed everything. One no that cost me nothing. And the one no that made me into the man I am today. That is the no to failure. See, the man that you see in front of you with 2 degrees couldn't read at the age of 6 years old because of a story. It was a story that I believed and thought that that was going to always be the case. And so all this changed, my mother telling me how to say no to my story. And see, all of us have a story. Why we are the way we are, our weight, our economic status. And that's just how we think we've always done. And so today, I'm able to say no to your story. Now, early explorers were famous in history because they helped to discover America and the territory of America. And so I'm going to do that for you today in your territory in 3 steps. So first off, we're going to talk about, first, realize where your story's from. 2, motivation. Why do you want it? And then 3, your action plan. And so to start off where my story came from, I was 6 years old and was in a classroom and was told to read out loud. And I'm sitting reading the book, and I'm trying to read out loud with the kids. They called on each kid, and I couldn't read it. I couldn't figure out. So they kept asking me, and I couldn't formulate any of the words, any of the paragraphs, and I just couldn't. So my teacher, she sat with me a couple of times, tried to do some other assessments with me, and for some reason, I just could not get it. It just wasn't, nothing was working. So she talked to my mother, and my mother was like, I know he can do it, so give me a little bit, and we'll revisit this. So she took me home, and we talked about it. We sat down at the kitchen table and cooked my favorite thing, pork chops. You want to get on my good side? You make some pork chops. We got it. We're good. Now, but she sat down with me, and she began to ask me to read, and for some odd reason, I just could not read it. And so she asked me, Isadore, I know you can read it. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I was a very big boy. Very, very big boy. So I could read food labels. I was really good at that. So she knew that I could. Somehow I wasn't. So she began to ask me. She said, what's going on? I know you can. What's going on? So I began to cry because I was always training back to that foster care stay when I was with my foster mother. And she was kind of like the Cruella de Vil of foster mothers. And she'd just run you over and talk to you crazy and all kind of stuff. So that's what I believed. And I just thought that was just always, I was stupid. I couldn't do it. So she said, well, Isadore, I don't care what she told you. I'm telling you, you can do it. And I'm telling you that you are smart. So once I started realizing where my story was from, then the second part was I started to say, why? Why do better? Now, because I was a big kid, I did like to eat. So she would incentivize me by giving me treats. She said, hey, if you do this, I'll feed you, I'll do this, that, and make it really easy for you. So, I was like, oh, okay, well, I like to eat, so we can talk about it. So she started to incentivize me, give me reasons to do better. We started to read paragraphs. We started to go over different words. And as I figured out that why, the motivation for that, she really incentivized me with not only just food, but different things. If I read a book, I would go out and play and different stuff like that. So that was my why. So I started reading books. I started reading different novels, and my reading accelerated very quickly. And so, in your motivation, why do you want to do it? You have to find a why. It could be your kids. It could be a certain goal level as far as economic status. It could just be, hey, I just want to prove everyone wrong. So you have to have a why as to why you want to do it. And then next, an action plan. An action plan as to where you are to where you're going to be. So with the action plan, we would go over the different things as far as my books. And so the action plan was to read a book a week, and then the books get bigger and longer. We started to read go over different words of the day, and my reading accelerated very fast until I was not only surpassed the other kids, but I was to a point of being tested for gifted classes and honors and all of that. So we first realized where my story was from. Why do you think this way? Motivation for the next level, and then an action plan for where I want to be. And so with that, I'm able to say, let's start today by saying no to failure and yes to success. Thank you.